Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Eldho Dhion Sirait, accompanied by Alfin Wahyudi Rakhman. We are from Group 3, and today we will give you our presentation. The topic is contextualizing communicative approaches. In this topic today, there are also the post-method condition, the dysfunction of theory-practice dichotomy, uninformed eclectic approach, and general approaches. Post-method conditions refers to the qualities of the era in teaching English language in which previously well-trusted methods are put under scrutiny and in which a body of methods and techniques collected from all previous methods and approaches are used pragmatically with a belief that such an eclectic practice leads to success. Of theory-practice dichotomy. An implicit assumption about the relationship between what we have customarily called theory and practice. Theory in both philosophical and scientific inquiry implies an organized set of hypotheses presumed to explain an observed phenomenon. Practices part of the formula was thought to be province of classroom teachers who accepted or rejected theorists' pronouncement about hows and whys of SLA. The relationship between the two is similar to that of producer of goods and customer. Clark argued against such relationship, analyzing the dysfunction of theory-practice relationship. He and others since then offered strong arguments against perpetuating this misleading dualism. Not only this understanding promotes the notion of a privileged class of theorists and an underprivileged class of practitioners, but also connotes a separation of researchers and teachers, and at worst, a one-way communication. Uninformed eclectic approach. The term eclectic approach refers to teaching approach that's not based on a single method, but that draws on several different methods, principles that are made use in practice. The approach includes two numbers of basic principles of learning and teaching, which can be relied for designing and evaluating classrooms lessons. That's all from me. The next part, general approaches, will be continued by Alfin. Alfin, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's Alfin here, and I'll continue the presentation. Here we go. General approaches. There are quite a number of language teaching approaches that are diverse, some general and some specific. Here are the more applicable approaches. First one is learner-centered instruction. Learner-centered instruction turns the teacher-centered models upside down by playing down or reversing the all-knowing authoritative role of the teacher and giving opportunities to students to contribute to in a classroom without fear of being scolded, belittled, and grounded by a teacher. The characteristic of learner-centered instruction is as follows. You can see it on the screen. A focus on learners' needs and goals, understanding individual differences among learners in a classroom, gauging the curriculum to learner styles and preference, creating a supportive, non-fearful, non-defensive atmosphere, offering students choice in the types and contents of activities, giving some control to the students. Next one is task-based language teaching. Task-based teaching makes an important distinction between target tasks which students must accomplish beyond the classroom and pedagogical tasks which form the nucleus of the classroom activity. Task-based instruction is not a new method, rather, it puts tasks at the center of one's methodological focus. It views the learning process as a set of communicative tasks that are directly linked to the curricular goals they serve, the purpose of which extend beyond the practice of language for its own sake. The characteristic of task-based language teaching as follows. You can see it again on the screen. Is tasks ultimately point learners beyond the forms of language alone to real-world contexts. Tasks specifically contribute to the communicative goals of learners. Their elements are carefully designed and not simply haphazardly or indiscriminately thrown together. English is not my first language. Their objectives are well specified that you can at some later point accurately determine the success of one task over another. Tasks engage learner at some level in genuine problem-solving activity. Next is theme-based instructions. When language courses are organized, sound, meaningful situation or topics, they may be said to be theme-based, sometimes referred to as topic-based curricula. Theme-based instruction provides an organizing framework for a language course that transcends formal or structural requirements in a curriculum. Theme-based curricula can serve multiple interests of students in a classroom and can offer a focused content while still adhering to institutional requirement for, coverage of grammatical criteria. Brinton, in 2013, put theme-based teaching under the rubric of content-based language teaching, but cautiously notes that there are variations in interpretations of model. Here are some possible theme-based activities. You can see it on the screen again. Use environmental statistics and facts for classroom reading, writing, discussion, and debate. Carry out research and writing projects. Have students create their own environmental awareness material. Arrange field trips. Conduct simulation games. And next one is experimental and project-based learning. Experimental learning, also known as project-based learning, highlights giving students concrete experience in which they must use language in order to fulfill the objective of a lesson. Both model includes activities that contextualize language, integrate skills, and point toward authentic real-world purpose, as in the following example. Experimental and project-based learning example. You can see it on the screen. Hands-on project, field trips and other on-site visit, research project, extra class dinner group, and creating a video advertising a product. And last one is strategic-based instruction. Strategic-based instruction is a learner-centered approach to teaching that has two major components. You can see it on the screen. First is students are explicitly taught how, when, and why strategies can be used to facilitate language learning and language use tasks. And secondly, strategies are then integrated into everyday class material and may be explicitly or implicitly embedded into the language task. The goal of this kind of instruction is to help foreign language students become more aware of the ways in which they learn most effectively, ways in which they can enhance their own comprehension and production of the target language, and ways in which they can continue to learn on their own and communicate in the target language after they leave the language classroom. In other words, strategies-based instruction aims to assist learners in becoming more responsible for their efforts in learning and using the target language. I think that's it. Thank you. I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.
Hello guys, this is Eldho Dhion Sirait. Thank you for your attention, and let us move to the next session. If you have any question, feel free to ask. If there's none, thank you for the attention once again. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.